Strike Fighter Squadron 201.
We had a culture where if there was a mistake, it had to get fixed because our lives depended on it.
Adversity will introduce you to yourself.
Managing is about doing things right. Leading is about doing the right things.
What do you do when you can't afford to fail?
We are an elite company of men and women, military officers, fighter pilots with extensive business experience.
We were able to operate in a global environment, planning, executing, debriefing complex missions.
We work with top global companies, outstanding organizations. We teach the process, disciplines, and techniques that allowed us to fly fighters in a very challenging and dynamic environment. And we apply them to your world.
Working in leadership, management, training, and team building.
Today isn't about shooting down airplanes, not about dropping bombs. It's about a process that an elite group of individuals, a high-performing organization, used to execute.
It is being part of a team, part of a sales force that is focused on winning. It's all about excellence. You want to have that culture where everybody you're working with, everybody you're surrounded by is focused on winning and focused on being the best that you guys can be.
I'd like to introduce you to my front office.
And it is one of the most dangerous industrial work sites in the world.
5,000 people, 19 and a half years old, and I tell you, I have a young man that's almost that age. I have a difficult time handing him the car keys, right? Much less saying, okay, I want you to go out and launch and recover F-18s at night in the weather. So how do we take young men and women, diverse educations, diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences, and in very short order, very short time, turn them into a high-performing organization or a high-performing team?
We come from backgrounds that demanded excellence because we operated in conditions unlike any that most people will ever experience in their life. Sometimes when people start to back up and say, we're not sure that we can accomplish that, we sit there and go, why not? We think we can ask that question from a unique perspective because of the things that we've done that many would think was impossible.
If we can look around and we can lead with courage, we can inspire people and empower people to work with passion. If we share in that journey together as a team, we can all elevate each other to really great levels of performance.
We believe that the individual is key, absolutely. But if you take an outstanding individual and you put them with somebody else that strives to do and be the same thing, that's a force multiplier.
In the business world, we have a lot of the same theories and a lot of the same issues that they talked about in some of their sessions. We still have threats and opportunities that we have to figure out and how to successfully get through to the other side of that, and the steps that they gave us are very applicable to the business world.
We always have clear objectives. What is the end state or the desired result?
Where are we going that's of greater value than where we were last week, last month, last year? And here's the piece. What are you going to apply time, energy, and money against to get that disproportionate rate of return for your investment of time, energy, and money?
We want to engage at a strategic level because we've got to make sure that everybody is clear on where they're trying to go, where they're trying to take the organization, and then how we can get everybody to orient on that in terms of direction and outcome and start to add greater value.
Let's say that's our team. Every one of those arrows is well-intentioned, but if I put those arrows in motion over time and I tie a rope to the end of those arrows, where does the team go? Where do we go as an organization and as an institution? Not a trick question. We don't go anywhere. I don't want robots or lemmings. I don't want them on my team. But what I do want is diversity of thoughts and individuals whose day-to-day executional efforts are tied to a future that represents much greater value than where we are today. Because if I put this team in motion over time, they will generate greater value faster in businesses and organizations all over the world.
High-performing organizations are able to communicate their strategic vision and that future picture, their plan, really well from the top level all the way through the middle level to every rank across the organization so that people know where they fit in the grand scheme of things.
Leadership is for everyone. And at the end of the day, your culture matters, your leadership skills matter, and the leaders that you have in place matter. You need to be able to lead with courage. You need to be able to lead with integrity. And if you can do all those things together and you have the good processes and you have the disciplines in place, you can really inspire your team to do phenomenal things.
The biggest enemy for any enterprise is time. Time is always the enemy. Statistically, the longer it takes you to accomplish something, the less likely you will be successful. So if we're learning as fast as we can, we're gaining new insights about the markets around our stores, and we're able to take that new information and make the necessary adjustments, we can go make it happen faster. Speed creates momentum, momentum creates energy, and you start moving.
People are drawn to organizations that are on a mission. People want to be a part of a team that is on the fast track to somewhere, not just being good enough.
We get your hands on it and put you through some experience stuff, really have you get in there and enjoy it.
You will have 10 minutes to figure out how to put that puzzle together.
Some individuals learn quite well in a classroom environment, but there's a lot of learners that are very tactile, very hands-on. And we think if you combine those two experiences together, people learn the most and it lasts the longest and affects the most lasting change, cultural change.
On your marks, get set, go!
You're all going to be members of 7 different teams. Okay, Task Force 1. We're going to give you a mission objective here shortly. You will come up with, this is your deliverable, a plan to notionally accomplish those mission objectives. And we'll give you all the resources that you need.
What are the top 2 or 3 things that are uncontrollable threats, and how can we address those? So that we're not managing by crisis, so that we're not sitting there going, okay, who's going to fight this fire? We talk about it in advance, and then we always plan at the end to debrief. If I have a team that plans together, we go through a briefing, we execute together, and they know that at the end of the week, at the end of the execution, or at the end of a time, they will sit down, and we will sit down as a team, and we will debrief it. That is a great piece to hold the team accountable.
The message has been great. The interactiveness between core group and our group has been spectacular, and the opportunity to just get out there and do some hands-on has really been great for the group. The message of plan, execute, debrief, why we talk a lot about that, we don't always see it put into action. Core group brought it to life. I think our people understand it, and I think most importantly, our people are looking forward to embracing it when they get back out in the field.
Attention to detail, it's sweating the small details, because if these guys in front of this propeller don't take the time to pay attention to the details and tie their boots, they're going to have a fundamentally different day, right? So sweat the small details, because you never know what is coming up behind you.
Are we directing the people that work for and with us in the proper direction so we create the greatest value that we can for the organization in the shortest period of time? The most valuable commodity is people exercising initiative on the right things. And the only way they can do that is if we educate them on where we're going that's more valuable than where we are today.
Every organization, every person has its challenges. But it is how we choose to face those challenges, how we choose to face those fears, that will define who we are and who we will become.